The starlit hall of the Academy of Species Integration was built to impress. Its vaulted glass roof revealed the sprawling nebulae beyond, and its polished stone floors reflected the silhouettes of 100 different species milling about nervously. The annual orientation for new cadets was supposed to be a celebration of unity across the galaxy. But for Lyra, it was a gauntlet. Her scaled fingers twitched as she clutched the satchel strapped across her chest. She was Veari, a species known for their sharp teeth, retractable claws, and reputation for merciless raids in centuries past. She had joined the academy to prove that she could be more than her bloodline, but the eyes of the other cadets told her what she already knew. They didn't see Lyra the student. They saw Lyra the predator. And then there was him. The human. He stood near the far wall, tall and broad-shouldered, wearing the same gray cadet uniform as everyone else, though on him it looked tailored. His dark hair fell slightly into his eyes, and he laughed at something a fellow cadet said, the sound ringing warm in the cold, formal space. When her gaze lingered too long, his eyes flicked to hers. Not cold, not wary. Curious. Lyra's throat tightened. She turned sharply and nearly walked straight into the Academy's pairing officer. Cadet Lyra, the officer announced, his voice carrying in the echoing hall. You've been assigned to room 47. Your roommate and field partner will be. He checked his holoslate. Cadet Aaron Vale. Human. The sound of his name dropped like a thunderclap in her mind. She froze, her tail curling around one leg in panic. The human was walking toward her now. His expression open and friendly. Her instincts screamed predator meets predator. She backed away, scales along her neck flaring involuntarily. Aaron slowed, frowning slightly at her reaction. Then with a small smile he said gently, "Don't worry. He won't bite." It took her a second to realize what he meant. He was pointing at himself. A nervous hiss escaped her lips before she clamped her jaw shut. Laughter rippled from nearby cadets, whispers spreading. The Veari's afraid of the human. Heat burned in Lyra's chest, humiliation mixing with anger. But Aaron only tilted his head and extended a hand as if nothing had happened. "Come on," he said, voice soft enough for only her to hear. "We're going to be stuck together for a while. Might as well make it easier." The middle. Their shared quarters were small. 2 beds, 2 desks, 1 narrow window showing the stars. The silence between them stretched taut. Lyra unpacked in rigid motions, carefully aligning her datapads, while Aaron sprawled across his bed like he'd lived there for years already. He glanced at her every now and then but didn't push. That unnerved her more than if he had. Finally she snapped, "Why are you not afraid of me?" Aaron propped himself up on one elbow, meeting her slit-pupilled eyes without hesitation. "Should I be?" "Yes." Her claws slid halfway out before she forced them back. "My people, we're not known for kindness. I read the history briefs." He shrugged. "But I don't judge someone by what their great-great-grandparents did." Her breath caught. No one had ever said that to her before. Still she tested him. "What if I attacked you right now?" Instead of flinching, he grinned. "You'd win. But then you'd have to live with me bleeding on your carpet. Not worth the trouble, is it?" Her tail lashed once, then stilled. Against her will, the corner of her mouth twitched in the ghost of a smile. Training began the next day. The Academy's regimen was brutal. Simulations of battlefield rescues, joint operations, survival exercises. Partners were expected to complement each other's weaknesses. At first, Lyra tried to keep her distance. She answered Aaron with clipped words, avoided eye contact, kept her claws sheathed. But the human was relentless in his quiet persistence. He cracked jokes during obstacle courses, even when she ignored them. He offered a hand after sparring matches, even when she hissed at him. He shared his rations on long drills, even when she insisted she didn't need them. And slowly something shifted. In the simulation chambers, Aaron was reckless, throwing himself into danger to shield others. Lyra learned to anticipate his moves, to cover his blind spots with a precision only her species possessed. He never treated her claws or fangs as threats. He treated them as strengths. One night, after a grueling rescue drill, she found herself sitting beside him under the stars. The campus dome had been opened for observation, and the two of them watched a comet streak past. "Why do you trust me so easily?" she asked quietly. Aaron leaned back on his elbows. "Because I can tell you don't want to hurt me." She turned her head sharply. "You don't know that." "Yeah, I do." He tapped his chest. "Gut feeling. Humans are good at those." She stared at him for a long time, and for once didn't look away. Their bond was tested sooner than either expected. A month into training, the Academy received a distress signal from a nearby colony. As part of their trial deployment, cadets were dispatched in supervised teams. Lyra and Aaron were assigned to the outer perimeter sweep. The colony had been ravaged by raiders, ironically, a splinter group of Veari mercenaries. Buildings smoldered. Survivors cowered. The sight made Lyra's stomach twist with shame. As they moved through the wreckage, a shadow leapt from the ruins, a mercenary, scales glinting, blade raised. Lyra froze. Her body screamed recognition. "One of mine." Aaron didn't hesitate. He shoved her aside and took the blow across his arm, blood spraying. With a roar, Lyra lunged, claws flashing. She disarmed the mercenary in seconds, pinning him to the ground. The enemy spat. "Traitor." Lyra's claws pressed harder against his throat. Her vision blurred red. She wanted to silence him forever. "Lyra." Aaron's voice cut through, strained but steady. He was clutching his bleeding arm, but his gaze was locked on her. "He's down." "That's enough." Her chest heaved. The mercenary's words burned like acid. But Aaron's eyes anchored her. With a trembling hiss, she withdrew. The mercenary was bound and taken away by the others. Later, as medics treated Aaron's wound, Lyra whispered, "Why? Why would you take the strike for me?" Aaron winced as bandages tightened. "Because I knew you'd finish it. And because—" He gave a weak grin. "I told you already. He won't bite." Her vision blurred again, but this time with something she couldn't name. The ending. From that day, whispers about the human and the Veari spread through the Academy. Others marveled. But no one could deny their effectiveness as a team. During evaluations, instructors noted how seamlessly they moved together. Aaron's instinctive courage meshed with Lyra's precision. Where one faltered, the other stood firm. And slowly, Lyra noticed something else. The way other cadets' eyes shifted. Less fear. More respect. Not just for her claws, but for her choices. One evening, after another round of drills, she found herself laughing, at one of Aaron's terrible jokes. The sound startled her. He looked at her with that same easy grin. "There it is. I knew you had it in you." She shook her head, still smiling faintly. "You're impossible." "Yeah," he said, leaning back with his hands behind his head. "But admit it. You'd miss me if I wasn't." Her tail flicked against his boot in silent agreement.